EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich here with your outlook for February 23rd, 2022. It is Wednesday, and the Wednesday video forecast is sponsored by the Walters and Zirinsky team at Keller Williams Real Estate, serving Carbon, Lehigh, and Northampton counties in eastern Pennsylvania. If you're wondering about the value of your current home, call Sarah and Mike at any time to get your free real estate market analysis. They use genuine MLS data combined with 20 years of full-time experience to give you an up-to-date and detailed forecast of current real estate values. Reach out to the Walters and Zirinsky team at Keller Williams Real Estate and see for yourself what Sarah and Mike can do for you and find out what sets them apart in the real estate industry. They can be reached at 610-867-8888, proud sponsors of the Wednesday video forecast. Okay, so we have a data dump of information to just throw at you this morning. They always say too much information is a bad thing. I don't think so in this case. So we're going to throw out some information about the system coming in at the end of the week and let you go from there. We're going to have maps out today. Might be 2, maybe 3 maps that will separate snow, sleet, and freezing rain, because we're going to be dealing with a myriad of precipitation types across the region, Thursday night especially. So we'll get into that in a second. Starting off with today, though, here on Wednesday morning, we have a cold front that's going to be moving through the region today. It's going to hit our northwestern areas this morning, and it's going to work its way slowly southeast. So by the time they get to the end of the day, it'll move through Philadelphia and point south and east. So we're having a big spread in temperatures. Ahead of that front, it's going to be very mild. 52 to 66 is the temperature spread from northwest to southeast. And that's because the front's going to hit the northwest areas sooner. So you're only going to get to 52 there. But we're not expecting much precipitation with this morning. As I get over the NAM high-res future simulated radar, and I'm starting this off at 7 a.m., which you can see in the upper right-hand corner of the video. You can follow along the timestamp there as I move this forward. And you have a few showers around down here by the Delmarva region, well south of the region, a few spotty showers ahead of the front. By the way, the front at this point is back here, okay? So these little spotty stuff here, this is all ahead of the front. Just spotty showers ahead of the front, and that will kind of go away as I move this forward. You can see that here. A couple showers there just kind of dissipates and goes away. We're actually going to have clouds giving way to sun today. So clouds, leftover shower early in the morning, and then you have an opportunity for seeing some sun this afternoon. But no precipitation this afternoon with that front as it moves south and east. It kind of falls apart and goes away. And looking at the temperatures, this is where you can see where the front is. Well, guess where the front is? It's right where I drew it. All the way back here. You see where that line is, which separates the warmer temperatures here from the colder temperatures here. And that will be moving off to the south and east today. And as I move this forward, you start off here up in the northwestern areas at 8 o'clock this morning. It's 52 degrees at Williamsport, 52 in a lot of these areas up near the boundary. So that's the highest you're going to get all day. Further south, you're going to continue to warm until that front moves through. So you get up to 60, 62 in some of these areas. And then right before the front moves through, you get to 66 in Philadelphia. Okay? And then that's probably all you're going to get. And then after that, the front moves through, and then things start to cool off considerably. Okay? You will have a wind gust this afternoon accompanying this front that will reach 25 miles per hour in most locations. Maybe a few areas get a slightly higher than that, but mostly up to 25 miles per hour. 15 to 25 is what we're looking at for those wind gusts today as the front moves through. And then that's off the coast, and that's it. Okay? So now we'll go back to the European model here so we get a look at the next system coming in. Thursday is going to be a cloudy day. Except for areas south of the Mason-Dixon line, you could get into a little bit of some sleet, maybe some freezing rain for a time across parts of Delaware, extreme southern New Jersey. It's possible. I'll show you that here in a second. Okay, that's during the day here on Thursday. See, that's right south of the Mason-Dixon line. It's showing snow here, but it's not going to be snow. Okay, so north of there, we're just going to remain cloudy. All right, that's not the storm. The storm is going to come in during the evening hours, late evening. Okay. And there is a chance for some areas to start off as maybe a little bit of snow and then go over to sleet and then freezing rain. But there's also a better chance that there's going to be a very prolonged period of sleet with this for the heart of our coverage region. I think that's where we're kind of heading here. I know the European model here was a little anxious, a little overzealous with the snow part of it. I think it's miscalculating based on the soundings review that I did with the European model. I think it's miscalculating some precipitation types aloft. Except for areas north of I-80. I think up there, once you get to I-80 and north, there, yes, it is snow there. But a big part of this, where it's counting freezing rain and snow both, is going to be sleet instead, I think. Okay, and this does eventually change over to freezing rain before it ends, and rain further south. But it used to be that this was going to be a northwest of I-95 deal. I wouldn't say that entirely, okay, because I think you're going to start off as some mixed precipitation even southeast of I-95. And then this thing will eventually pull away here on Friday afternoon. So let's get into the NAM here again. And I want to show you this because this is during the day. This is during the day on Thursday. You can see south of the Mason-Dixon line, there's no snow here, but there is some sleet. There is some freezing rain. And that's across Maryland, parts of northern Virginia. And some of that extends into parts of Delaware and southern New Jersey. Okay, that's during the day. That's not the storm, though. It's not the main storm. As I move this forward, we get into the evening hours. Look what happens. Here comes that main storm. And as I push this forward, this pinkish color here is sleet, okay? The purples down here just south of that is freezing rain. Green, of course, is rain. Any blue is snow. Now, this is looking at 10 p.m. You go to 11 p.m., and you got snow on the northern side of this. So you get up by I-80 here. This is snow, I-80 north, okay? But a big area of sleet developing here that's going to be very stubborn. So the trend here over the past 24 hours or so was to take this high that is north of this system here, make it a little bit stronger and put it in better position to give you a cold air damming situation. You get a 1037 high sitting right here. And it's funneling in cold air into the system at the onset. So the temperatures aloft are a little bit cooler. Overall, the system hasn't fundamentally changed. It's just the temperatures aloft, where that warm air wedges aloft is not quite as deep or as warm as it once was. So that means they're going to have that sleet and snow hang on a little bit longer. Okay, and then so this is 11 p.m. Let's go to midnight. Okay, now there's a good delineation of where everything's going to be. So again, I-80 runs kind of like this, right? There's I-80. I-80 and north, it is all snow. There's a big area, huge area in between here that is all sleet. And there's going to be some areas in here that get an extended period of sleet. A lot of sleet, okay? A slizzard, if you will, okay? That's an unofficial term. And then further south, you have that freezing rain. And I'm going to progress this forward here through the night. This is starting off at midnight and going forward. And watch what it does. Okay, you get a lot of snow continuing up in these areas. Still a lot of sleet in the central areas here. But you're starting to see at the very end of the run here, the freezing rain starting to work northward. And this goes up to hour 60 and it stops. So I'll have to switch over to the 12-kilometer version, which is pretty much matches up this to this. 3-kilometer, 12-kilometer match up pretty well. Okay, so we're going to move this forward as well. From this point, freezing rain continues to advance northward. You get some rain in southeast PA before it ends, but it doesn't get all the way up to places like the Lehigh Valley and Harrisburg. Okay, it just ends as frozen precipitation by early afternoon, noon, 2 o'clock, something like that. It's done and it's out of here. Okay, so that's what we're looking at for this storm. This is a very good depiction of what we think is going to happen. If I change this to go to the 3-kilometer NAM here, just to show you what kind of sleet accrual we could have out of this, and if I change this to a winter look here, let's go to snow first. So your snow is going to be confined again along and north of I-80, and you can get a couple inches of snow out of this. And if you get across Susquehanna, Wayne County, maybe northern Lackawanna County, you can get above 4 inches, 4 to 6 inches of snow. Very possible, okay? And because you're going to hold on to that snow longer before it changes over. It does eventually change over here at the end of that loop that I showed you. Hour 6, see, it does change over to sleet, but most of the storm's already over at this point. This is looking at 7 o'clock in the morning on Friday. So you have up until about noon or so. You get some sleet, maybe even a little bit of freezing rain before it ends, but it's not going to be the bulk of your storm. Your bulk of your storm's going to be in the form of snow and then sleet up in those regions. So don't expect to change over to rain up in those areas, okay? So if you look at the winter precipitation types let's break this down to sleet. Look at the sleet total on this. And you just get hammered in this area, in the central areas. And this is actually going to extend a little bit further north because, again, this model runs out of range. So you're seeing some amounts here. I know it's hard to see if you're watching the video on a small, maybe on a cell phone or a tablet, but there's some amounts in here that are 1 to 2 inches of sleet. Is that impossible? No, not at all, because normally for every 10 inches of snow you get, it is, or for every 1 inch of rain, it's equal to 10 inches of snow. With sleet, every 1 inch of rain gives you 2.5 inches of sleet. So looking at the soundings that I did on the NAM, this all checks out. These numbers check out. So can you get 1 to 2 inches of sleet out of this? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's going to be somebody it's crushed with sleet. And sleet is different than freezing rain. That freezing rain might not accrue on the roads if they're a little bit too warm. Sleet will stay on the roads much longer because it melts slower. So the dense little ball of sleet, the ball of ice, that's all it is. The sleet pellet does not allow air to penetrate in it like a snowflake would, which melts it faster. Okay, so if you get it on the roads and it's coming down heavy enough, it's going to stick on roads that are above freezing. It doesn't matter. Okay. The good thing about that, as compared to ice, it's easier to drive on. So, with that said, we're going to watch these sleet amounts today and see what this does. But the NAM is doing the same thing. And if we go to a freezing rain map here, just to take a look at that, because I do want to see that as well. Winter, give me a second. Okay, there's your freezing rain total. So it's not a tremendous amount of freezing rain here, a couple tenths of an inch in a few spots, but most areas are a 1/10 inch or less of freezing rain. So we're going more sleet, less freezer rain. That's kind of good, kind of bad. It's because it's harder to shovel. Okay, if you had to get rid of the 2 inches of sleet, you ever shoveled 2 inches of sleet? It is heavy. It is backbreaking work. Okay, so we're going to have all these maps broken down in map form with a full discussion. Expect that to happen on weather alerts today at 5 o'clock, and we'll have that all broken down for you. Okay, we'll send alerts prior, and it should be a pretty easy to understand and easy to follow thing. Just understand it's not just be one map, because we're not just dealing with snow. We're dealing with snow, sleet, and freezing rain, ice. Okay, so 3 different maps there, most likely. After the system exits, we will get to Saturday. I'm losing track of time here. So Saturday goes back to mostly sunny skies with high pressure moving in. It's going to be cold relative to average. It's not going to be brutally cold compared to January temperatures, but it's going to be cold relative to average in the lower 30s. It looks like low to mid 30s on Saturday. Sunday, you get a little bit of a warm up, if you will, ahead of the next trough coming in. By the way, this system that we're watching for the weekend does look like it's going to stay southeast and miss us. So we're not really too concerned about that. It does look like partly cloudy here on Sunday, maybe mostly cloudy Sunday night if this comes a little bit closer. Gives you a little bit more clouds. But then we're right back into the cold again for Monday and Tuesday, despite mostly sunny skies expected on both days. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchich. That is your outlook for February 23rd, 2022. Have a great Wednesday.